G'day, we got a new segment today. It's Lindsay Waddington here with Manfred Vijars, a good friend of mine. He's one of our great talents, bush poet, 3 times golden guitar songwriter, and he's just a hell of a good bloke. It's great to have you here, Manny.
Oh, thanks, Watto.
You ready for this?
No.
Well, I'd like to know a bit more about you, mate.
Why?
Because we're getting people from all around the world saying we need to know more about Manfred Vijars.
And the pigs are fed and ready for takeoff.
You ready, mate?
Thank you. Yes, go.
How would you describe what you do?
Simply write stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah, stuff sort of confundulates around in the brain, so that's a big word, sorry about that.
It is.
And you put them down. Yeah, stuff that you
Confundulate.
see. Yeah, confundulate.
Yeah.
It's almost the same as regurgitate.
I like
Only
it.
different. Stuff that grabs you. You know, think of something and you think about something, a topic or something, and something, lots of somethings, and commit it to paper and either toss it out or embellish.
Okay. Where did you grow up, mate?
In Victoria, Werribee.
Were you born in Victoria?
No. Hell, I was born overseas in Germany.
Yeah?
My father was Latvian, but he was born in Russia. My mother was German, but she was born in Poland. Me, I was born in Germany. That makes me mongrel bred and 100% Australian.
I like it. When did you take up bush poetry and when did you work out that was your life, that was your thing?
It's an interesting question. I used to write, not very frequently, but when I was young, I even remember writing something in primary school, a little something. But my family heritage is Latvian. And in Sydney, there's a Latvian club. And they teach culture and teach language and stuff like that. And I thought it's appropriate that the kids learn a little bit of their ancestors' culture. And in attending some of those classes, I'm thinking, maybe I could teach the Latvians a bit of Australian. And I wrote a parody on Mulga Bill's bicycle. Except it used some Latvian words in there, and it went over a hoot.
That's
and
great.
I thought, this is interesting.
And you just kept going from there?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's wonderful, Manfred. You've also spent time as a working computer technician. Did you enjoy that, or it was just a way of life?
Oh, no, I enjoyed that. What happened was it was at a time when courses were being offered at university, and being an old fart, I didn't do much at schooling, and so I hated it pretty much. But I thought I'd have a go at this, and I was accepted. The condition was that if you passed the course, you could go either into science or computing. And this was back in the 90s, and I thought, computing sounds okay. Well, I passed. And ended up with a degree in software engineering and specialising in databases.
Back when you started, it would have been a floppy disk.
That's disgusting.
What was the first computer you worked on, just out of curiosity?
I was an IBM, actually. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
really?
Truly, yeah.
Wow. Actually, I'm going to ask something else. Could you see that technology was going to get smaller and smaller or back in those days? Like, the computers were pretty big, like the brain, the screen. Could you imagine that now you can nearly do everything off your phone?
No, but I do remember at uni we also had a course in AI, and that was the infancy of AI. It was different. I forget what the model was called back then, but it was fascinating. But we had a secondary name for AI then. We called it AS, Artificial Stupidity.
I like it. At what point did you notice that people were connecting with you and what you were doing through poetry?
I guess at performances and stuff, I'd travel around and do performances, mostly outback and up and down countries, and did different festivals, and people would sit forward and listen, and they'd come afterwards and say, how much they enjoyed it, and I thought, I've got to have a go at this and push it a bit further, and hence I did.
What's your favourite style, Manny? Do you like the real punchy in the throat with a gut-wrenching story, or do you like a bush story, or do you like a comedy one? Or if you could only write one tomorrow and had to perform it every day, what would it be?
Yes, to all of them. So there's not one particular style. It depends on. I'm a storyteller fundamentally, and I write in verse mainly. But fundamentally, I'm a storyteller, and usually the story will dictate what style and what meter, what cadence, and or all that is associated with it.
You've had 3 poems turned into songs now, which have won golden guitars. How'd that come about?
Magic.
Yeah.
Well, unexpected. Actually, for the third one, that was a concerted effort. That was with Angus Gill.
Mm-hmm.
We wrote that specifically for. It was an idea that I had, and we wrote it together that we could slip something into the GGs for Angus. The other 2, that's the One Last Muster and Country Copper. They started off as poems. Both of them was sort of a portion out of my life. One Last Muster was about my father, even though he wasn't a drover, but his last days were in a nursing home. And Country Copper was me getting booted up the backside several times by the constabulary, who do a bloody top job, particularly country coppers. So hence that was a tribute to them.
Yeah. Did it work?
What, to boot up the bum? Absolutely.
Geez, you must have been short before that.
Oh, mate, size 9 on a little kid. It's a big impact.
To you, what makes bush poetry different to writing songs, Manfred? Like if you wrote a set of lyrics and said, I'm going to send that to an artist to record as a song, or bugger it, I'm going to do that and keep it as a poem. Is there a difference in the writing style?
Yes, it is. There is. With a poem, bush poem or otherwise, you can really elaborate and become very verbose and put a lot of colour and description within that particular verse. But within a song like a bush ballad and stuff, that's a lot of stuff needs to be cut out. And you really need to drill down to the core of what is the song really about. And that's a wonderful challenge of its own, in itself, I should say. It's because it sort of clarifies your thinking, and I think in the process you become a better writer, and you can let loose whenever you want. You know, if you want to put a swag of verses down or stanzas down, you can do that. But within a bush ballad, say, you know, any more than about 6 verses, I mean, you're really pushing it then. But there are some. Well, I mean, you look at what was that Marty Robbins one, El Paso?
Yeah.
It goes on, and it was a great one. But then again, it was ahead of its time.
It was that long they put a roundabout in it.
Yeah, and but the thing is, who's that mate up in Townsville way? He wrote that one, The Ringer and the Princess.
Oh, and Graham Connors.
Graham
one
Connors,
of the greatest songwriters.
Great song,
Yeah.
Absolutely marvellous.
Yeah.
And we could do. I think the public could do with a few more of those around as well too, particularly well written. And hats off to Graham. Absolutely.
I'm going to put you on the spot. If there was a song you could have said, I wrote those lyrics, what would it be? There's got to be one that you'd go to all the time and say, that is just some good writing. I wish I wrote that.
Oh, there are a number. Yeah, I cannot put down one, really. To put down one would mean to exclude all of the other brilliant writers out there. And there are many. And it's so good to see, honestly. Yeah.
God, you sit on the fence a lot, mate. You get splinters. These days, because there's nothing more to prove, you've achieved the highest levels in bush poetry and as a songwriter in country music. What keeps you going, Manfred? What keeps you writing?
It's just an innate or an inherent thing, sort of do something, and maybe, and I say, I've got to leave a legacy. But maybe, I mean, who yeah.
Do you still enjoy it? Like, does it? Yeah.
Bloody oath.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. Very much. Absolutely.
What gets you more, mate? Writing a set of words, like a lyric, a story, and reciting it yourself? Or do you get more of a kick out of another artist coming along and saying, mate, I want to do that?
Both of those examples come down to one thing, and that's sharing. So, yeah, I love to perform and share to others, and if others come and like, that's fine too. It's sharing. And poetry, like music, needs to go out there. It needs to be heard. And I guess bush poetry, particularly Australian bush poetry, because, I mean, it's really a cultural imperative of us telling our stories, not only our stories, but stories of others. And we do it well in rhyme and meter.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, we have to keep them shorter. I know the attention span's shorter, but by the same token, if there's a story to tell, it's got to be told.
When people hear your work or a performance or even a song that you've written with someone else, Manfred, what means the most to you when they come up to talk to you about it? What do you want them to feel?
Share whatever they feel. You can't say, I'm looking for this particular feeling. Because any time you hear something yourself and it moves you somehow, and that's very personal. It's between you and the song, and in turn, in a sense, the writer. So that becomes special. And you probably remember songs that you and your beloved wife heard together. And you might hearken back to them from time to time. You can't take that away. And that's the sort of stuff which moves people. We've all got music and rhyme in our lives. And I guess, sadly, it doesn't have much of a chance to rise anymore. There's just too much distraction, which is tragic. But it's there. And there's a lot of love around too. It's there as well.
Well, with your bush poetry, Manfred, just signing off, what's something you'd like to achieve still, mate? Like, you've achieved so much and you're doing so many great things. What's something that you would like to say I was a part of and that's happened?
The short answer is I don't know. Something comes up.
In the key of C?
Or the key of K, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's just something which, if you're looking for something out there, often you just never get it, or it's not there. Not much use in dwelling on what was and what might have been, but rather, here we are, it's today. I'm with friends, we're talking, and we're having a good time. This is my wonderful thing for today.
Well, there you go. Manfred Vijars, the great bush poet, songwriter, and we're just going to enjoy today. Thanks, mate.
Good on you, mate.